Yeah, hello and welcome back to ConWorxx Day 2. So I'm having another guest, the awesome Daniel Newman here. Daniel, how are you?
I'm good, Uli. How are you? Are you
Uh,
exhausted yet? This is an early morning for you, right? Started out,
this
been
is
going since.
it's okay. So I'm feeling fine at this moment. Guests like you drive this ConWorxx, of course. If I would do all the talking, this would be first boring. Nobody would view, and third, it would be then it would be really exhausting. So as I said several times already, the guests have to do the work, and this is for me. This is a good thing. And Matt is in the chat already saying, "Oh no, you invited Daniel." Yeah, this is true.
Big
I
mistake.
invited him because I have a starting question which is not related to the game per se we are talking later. It is first, I would like to know what is New Mill Industries?
So, Newman Industries is a small publishing company that Tony Miller and I started last year.
Uh-huh.
Um, we had a couple of small games of our own to begin with that we were having trouble finding publishers for, but we felt pretty strongly about.
Mm-hmm.
So we decided to do like a very low stress publishing endeavor of our own. We would do everything kind of print on demand sources and kind of go about it in like a punk rock kind of way.
I love punk rock anyway, but
Yeah.
I have a question that I'm really curious about. You said Tony and you set it up low stress, no stress. Is it really low stress or no stress, or even if
It's
you're doing small numbers, is this working out well? Or
I mean, so far we spend very little time because we're only doing like 3 or 4 games a year. Um, so far we've only done our own releases, although we're going to put out other people's starting in a couple weeks actually with Travis Hill's Union Station, which we're really excited about. um, but like we're using we don't have to deal with the shipping issue right now because all of our vendors are local to the United States, so we're actually able to turn around our games like within a month of the Kickstarter finishing, which is awesome.
yes,
um,
absolutely, this is great.
and it's vendors we've used before for doing prototypes and things, so we're already familiar with their processes and everything. So it's very low stress. We don't have to deal with any middleman. Like we do the Kickstarter, we order it, everything gets shipped to Tony's house in Portland, and then he sends them out through the post office, and there's just like nothing else to worry about. Um, our backers are like super respectful and excited for what we're
Great.
doing. We're not dealing with a lot of that crazy stuff you hear about on Kickstarter.
Yeah.
So everybody who seems to be on board with what we're doing and excited for what we're doing. So the stress has been super low.
Yeah, and this is great to hear because 3 to 4 games, yeah, 3 to 4, yeah, to that height. So 3 to 4 games is quite a bit, but maybe it's also for you no stress because the games are shipped to Tony's house, so that he has to ship them to the backers. This, I think, is also smart arrangement on your side.
Yeah, it's less stress for me personally, really, because I do all the graphic design and I set up the Kickstarter, and then Tony handles the rest, and I don't have to worry about
Hmm.
it.
Yeah, but if this arrangement works out for you, so it's wonderful. And I have several of these games here at home. So please, everybody, check out these games. Whenever you see a new announcement that there is a new game from New Mill Industries for Kickstarter, please check out this Kickstarter campaign and support New Mill Industries. But you were mentioning just 2 minutes ago one game that is. That will appear in a couple of weeks at Kickstarter. Can you let us know a little bit more about this game?
Yeah, so October 12th, we're launching Union Station by Travis Hill. It's a Cube Rails game, but it fits in a small box, probably the smallest. I'm trying to think if I have a copy nearby. I don't know. Of course, I didn't put it next to my desk because that would have been too smart. But it's a small box. This is the size of. Oh. So this was Rivet Heads, which was our last release. But it's a small box. It fits in like a USPS small box mailer, and we're fitting a Cube Rails game in there. So it's this tiny board. little discs. It's a really cool game. If you're familiar with cube rails, this one focuses more on timing rather than like laying track and making those connections. That's in there, but it's a smaller part of it. Yeah, we're super excited for it. Like I said, that's going up on Kickstarter on the 12th. I think we've got the page up now where you can sign up to be notified when it goes live. I don't know if you can throw that in the chat, Uli.
Yes, I already threw it in here. So if
Awesome.
you, I think, so first it's new mill industry, so that's a major plus from my side. Second, it's a Travis Hill cube rails
Yeah.
game, and Travis is a first, in my opinion, he's a great designer. Second, he's a wonderful person. So
Yeah,
more
agree.
power to this whole endeavor at Kickstarter. And you see this page, go check it out. In my opinion, you can't go wrong with this. And hello, Steve, by the way. I got to play Union Station a few months ago with Travis and thought it was great. So there's more independent support for the game. Yeah, you see, really, if you are interested in this type of game, go check it out. I also mentioned new mill industries, but maybe before I do this, there was this comment by that brute, Matt, you should get out of the frame completely so that people can see the nice background there. No, please get back in. Get back in. So, but you see, if you have wishes, if we can fulfill them, we try our very best. But New Mill Industries and Spielworks, we are teaming up for one game, which should be out next week. Next week is also nice. Next year,
I wish. Yeah,
and
next year.
again, I keep repeating it. If everything goes according to plan, nobody knows what the shipping situation is, what the manufacturing situation is, but it should be. That's a plan. Be out next year, and I'm super excited to work with Daniel and Tony of New Mill Industries together on this game. And which game is it now? Which game are we doing together, Daniel?
So we're doing my game London Acropolis Railway, which is it sounds like a train game, but it's less of a train game than you might think. But it's based on an actual railroad that was established in London at the turn of the century. What happened was London was kind of hit with the cholera epidemic in the late 19th century, and they basically ran out of places to bury the dead. And there was a proposal to create an offsite cemetery outside of the city, and they needed a way to get mourners and those being interred there. So they created one rail line that just had two stops from London to the cemetery. So this game is about setting up kind of your proposal for that system, and you're developing the London terminus, and you're developing the cemetery itself, and then you're having the rail line go around, between the two. I can share my screen if that would work, if I can remember how. Here we go. Share screen. This one. Let's see if this works here.
At least we are seeing a black thing, but it should come up. This is probably not the TTS module, I guess.
Nope, that's just my background. Let's
Yeah.
see. We probably should have practiced this first, huh?
Oh, yeah, well, but it's a nice looking background here. And Steve is saying that there is a Snowdonia scenario for it too, for it too. And yeah, but this game is the full game is on this. And me, I'm really fascinated by these backgrounds. We had Raising Chicago already today, and now we are having this that you are a huge city, especially for its time. Hello, Daniel, by the way.
Hello, I'm trying again. I'm going to try something else here.
And
Keep talking.
that's fine. I keep talking in here. And you have a huge city in the 19th century, and you can't bury your people anymore. And then you are thinking, ah, let's build a rail line and then have a cemetery outside of the city. It's not a kilometer or a mile outside, it's really outside. So this is fascinating to me. Yeah.
Well, if I
Black.
figure this out,
Uh,
it's black again.
but if this is too much of a problem, I think we can go by a description by you too.
Is that working now, or is it still the forest?
It's still the forest.
Yeah, all right. We'll have to
Yeah,
see.
but
I don't know why
this
it's not.
okay because I have some questions anyway, and
Yep,
here, and my first question is: although we still see the forest, and maybe you
yep.
can
It's
get.
it's coming. Hold on.
No worries, no worries. All is good. Yeah,
See, this is
there
what
you
happens when I
are.
follow Matt Wolf, right? Like,
Yeah, but
there.
this is the difference. Matt is prepared. Matt is
Yeah.
prepared. So no, all is really good, Daniel. So
All right.
first, we know what the background is, what the topic of the game is,
Yeah.
and you are saying no, it's not a train game here. There is a train and you're running with your train, but it's not a train game. What are the key mechanics in London Necropolis?
So the core of the game is a set of cards that are split into. Every card has the three different regions that you're dealing with on your own player board. So you've got London, you've got the train, and you've got the cemetery. And each one has a different action or area that you can deal with. But they have a cost of action discs. So red, yellow, blue right now in the current prototype. That might change as Harold works on the art. And every time you flip a new card into the card row, the back of the next card will tell you what discs get associated with that card. So every turn you're taking a card and the two discs that are below it, and those give you the action abilities to play any cards that you take. So you're managing which cards you want for the actions and which discs you want to bring in to do actions later. You're developing all of your different areas, which give you additional abilities as the train moves around the track. You can upgrade the train itself, either temporarily or permanently, to help you kind of complete what you need to do. And you're trying to improve your cemetery while bringing mourners and the dead to the cemetery and gaining points by kind of satisfying different requirements and such. And so you're building up all three systems as you play. It's hard to explain too much without having the board, but
Yeah, but it's yeah. What I'm interested in is the card mechanic. Maybe you can explain this in a little bit more detail. So, how many cards are there which you are seeing? So you see the back of the cards. How many are you seeing there?
so
Three.
so you'll have the deck, and then you'll have three cards face up in a row, each with two discs below them of either red, blue, yellow, or gray. Currently in the prototype, which is a wild. And then on each card, you have a red, a yellow, and a blue section. And to complete or to activate each section of that card, you need a matching disc. And sometimes you need a little bit of money or whatever. So when you take a card, you can choose 1 to 3 of those to activate, depending on if you have the discs to do so. And there are things like upgrading London, which will give you more money at an income phase, or more mourners, or more coffins. And then on the other side, the blue will allow you to purchase a crypt, which will help you with endgame scoring, or assign staff, in which will allow you to create put more coffins in certain rows and such. And then the train itself, after you've done this, on each card, there's a certain number of locomotives, which will let you move your train along the track in the center. And moving that train will allow you to drop off your mourners and coffins, as well as when you come back to London, allow you to get your income, which keeps the thing moving. So the train is just constantly going in a loop, and it's being activated by whichever actions you're taking on those cards.
And there's not a single train, right? Each player has
Each player
their
has their own
own.
system. Yep.
Yes, so you're building your own stuff here and moving then in this loop around to get additional bonuses. Yeah, so that's how you do this, and I think this game is also very true to the theme, and while having, especially coupled with this disc color card mechanic, it has interesting mechanics, and yeah, the basics are Daniel? How many players, playing time? How would you rate it in complexity?
So it plays 2 to 4 in about an hour. It is scaled pretty well. You take out or include certain cards for the player count. So yeah, so it scales pretty well. Complexity wise, I would say it's probably medium weight. It's again hard. The more
Yeah,
you play games, the
yeah.
harder it is to judge. But I would say, given the play time and you can learn it pretty simply, pretty quickly. So I would say probably medium weight. Uh, is a little lighter than maybe a traditional Spielworxx game, which is one of the reasons we're doing this
Together,
co-publication.
yes.
Yeah.
But I think the complexity is fitting the topic and the mechanics gameplay very well. And Steve had the same question I had. What is the playtime? So it's about
Hmm.
60 minutes. And hello, Chris, by the way, and hello, Andre, hello, Marcus, and Andre is saying the AIT crew is at it again. It's an infamous traffic group
Ah,
because Chris, Marcus, Andre, and we are playing several times a year. We play in infamous traffic by
I still haven't
Vessel.
played that one yet.
Yeah, you're a brute. You
I
should.
am a bird.
I think you'd enjoy it, and just play it with 4 or 5. I think that's a perfect range of people, and playing time is not too long. And Chris is saying it's in his 10 by 10 contest for this year. So next year it has to be London Necropolis Railway, of
Yeah,
course, which is in
keep that in
this
mind.
contest as well. Anything else on London Necropolis here that you'd like to mention, Daniel? Otherwise, I have something else, but please.
No, just that it's currently the art and graphic design is being worked on by Harold, so it's going to look like a Spielworxx game, which is exciting. And then I think we're targeting March for the Kickstarter, right? In 2022.
Yes.
But then delivery is going to have to be dependent on the shipping situation. It's not going to get out as quickly as most new mill games because Spielworxx is handling all of the production.
Yes.
Uh, and then is it? Did you say that Capstone is going to be doing distribution in the U.S.? Is that right?
Fulfillment. They are doing
Fulfillment. Yeah.
fulfillment for it, not distribution
Right.
necessarily, yes,
Okay.
but this would be the partner for, at this moment, for any Kickstarter game that, for any US backers, it's via Capstone Fulfillment. So by boat. If the game is produced in Europe, it's going by boat to Capstone, and then it's
And then
sent
they'll send.
via Capstone to the individual backers. Yeah, that's the plan, and we have to keep our fingers crossed and hope, pressed, that it's really working out. And Marcus is having a question: does it play well with 2, or is 3 recommended?
I
So
think it plays pretty well at every count. I'm trying to think. There's a bit of, in terms of player interaction, there's a central board where there are these crypts that you have to purchase, and there can be a bit of a race to get the good ones. But because I set out to scale well, I think it's pretty good at every player account.
yeah, and Steve is having a question: is there a board? Um, Technically, there are several boards, right?
There's several boards. Yeah. I think each player will have their own board. I don't remember exactly. I know my initial prototype had several little boards, and I think Harold is combining them into one, maybe
Yes.
that folds or something, so that'll fit. And then there is a central board that just kind of helps you manage the flow of the game. Um, but it's not like one big board that everybody uses.
No, no, right, right. Yeah, this is very special, and this is one of the tricky decisions: how to lay it out so that the punch boards fit into the box with a minimum
Right.
number of punch boards, and this will be determined pretty soon.
Yeah, we're
And
still working on that bit.
yeah, and but good question for sure. Yeah, and I would briefly mention one other thing here because for people who are attending Essen in 2 weeks, Spiel
Mm.
at Essen, you should move to the PD Verlag booth because Daniel has a game out there, brand new. It's called Watch, is the title, and I had the pleasure to play it in an earlier incarnation, and it's a wonderful game. Playing time is about 45 minutes, so mid-weight range, or is it? This is
Yeah,
about
45 to 60. Yeah, most of mine wind up in that kind of medium weight Euro 45 minutes to 60 minutes. That one plays, I think there's a solo mode through 4 players. So it's
yeah.
a nice range.
So yes, right. And this game will also come to the US, or in
Mhm.
English language, it will be out via Rio Grande Games. So don't miss out on Spiel and PD in German language, but you can also get it from Rio Grande then in English language later. And really, this is a game that you should all check out. Watch, and it's not. It's also a great title. Why is the title great, Daniel?
So watch is it takes place in you are a worker in a Russian watch factory that used to be a Soviet era munitions factory. So there's a cool way that in the game, one of the spaces you can take is to kind of spy on your other players, kind of sit in the foreman's office and try to guess where they're going to go on their next turn and try to catch them uh, doing something they shouldn't be doing because there's risky spaces and safe spaces. So watch is both because it's a watch factory and because you're kind
Yeah.
of watching your opponents. Yeah.
Yeah.
It actually started out, it was a design, I wanted to use the idea of the panopticon, it's like the prison where the guards are in the center and can see everybody. So it kind of came from that.
Yeah, it's a great game in my opinion. So out soon,
Thank you.
and Matt is thing. I can't believe Spiel is in 2 weeks. Feels so soon. Yeah, for me, I have the same feeling, and we'll see how Spiel will be in 2 weeks. So we'll. I have no real true idea what will happen there, how many people will attend, and how everybody is behaving. Hopefully well, but nothing is guaranteed in these times. But Daniel, thank you very much for this overview here on London Acropolis and
Yeah, thanks for having me on.
on Watch, and check out Union Station on Kickstarter by New Mill Industry. You have the link here in the chat window. We stay in touch, and thank you very much to all viewers as well. I continue here at, let me see, at 6:30, so in 20 plus minutes, and I'm talking with the team of Tracks about 1837 Saxonia, which is Spielworks' first 18xx game. So this will be the topic at that time, and hopefully you are interested in this. So seeing you at that time. Bye bye. Thank you.
Thank you.